Alright, and welcome to the first of hopefully more than one development log videos for a video game project that I've been working on for a while now called Isolation, as you can probably tell from the video title. So, there's a lot to talk about, and I don't really know how to structure this. So it's going to kind of be all over the place. I'm just going to kind of talk about stuff as I approach it, because I'm not going to remember stuff properly. I know, because I've been trying. To start with, this is a stealth game. As you can tell, the focus on the lighting and the shadows in this is pretty heavy. Even though this is a very, very, very early build of the game, it's like super alpha. I decided I was going to do one of these videos for every milestone that I complete, if people are interested in these. And milestone number 1 has been completed at this point. Milestone 1 basically encompasses a lot of really basic core mechanics, like the material types that you see. Those were all added in, and the light metering system and the sound metering system, which I'll go over in a bit, are all added in from milestone number 1. Now these little guys running around here, and this guy running around in here that you probably can't see, he's probably in the dark. He'll come over here in a minute. Come on. There he is. That guy. These are from milestone number 2, but because I've waited so long to do this video, I've kind of edged into doing a lot of the work from milestone number 2 already, so, oh well. This would be kind of a mixture of the two. So, anyway, I'll begin by going into the game and introducing the fantastic modeling job that I have done. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's beautiful. Oh yeah. Check it out. Look up, guy. Yeah. I have named this guy Cube Dude. He is my test model actor, who I have fully rigged and set up to be animated to work with the game. And frames just dropped for some reason. Whatever. So his animations are pretty funny looking right now. They're the first animations that I've ever done, so I'm pretty happy with them. But they are pretty funny. I'm kind of used to them by now, so for a lot of people, they're probably just going to be bad. Here they are. There's walking. There's running, which is really the same as walking right now. He doesn't really have a sideways walking. Well, he does, but I kind of rushed that. That looks pretty bad, I know. It'll be better in the future, trust me, maybe. Also, there's crouching. Of course, you can't have a stealth game without crouching. And there's leaning. Oh yeah, there's leaning. To the left and to the right, I know. I'm breaking boundaries with this amazing technology. So, there's also leaning while walking, which is awesome. Took a whole day to implement. Yes, it did. And there's jumping and falling. So anyway, again, milestone number 1 basically encompassed material types. You can see I have gravel, wood, carpet, metal, tile. And the focus on this is going to be on a lot of smaller things. I want to basically put in as many small, little, minute details as I possibly can to hopefully make this more, I can't think of the word, but more engulfing, I guess. It's not the word that I want, but whatever. So, some of the small things that I've done so far, as you can tell, you can hear the sounds of me walking, which are kind of quiet, so I'll shut up for a minute. Carpet is pretty quiet, so you might not hear this one. So, not much, but I recorded all of these sounds myself, and that was quite fun, actually. So all these sounds, whenever you hear these sounds of these footsteps, just think of me in front of a microphone with shoes on my hands. Because that's how I did it. Okay, aside from that, the sounds are different if you're crouched, of course. They're a little bit quieter. Oh, you're not going to hear carpet at all. Yeah, that's so quiet. Okay, I need to adjust these a little bit again. There's also running sounds, which are much louder. Oh, I did something I wasn't going to show off until a little bit later, so let's not look over that way. Alright, so yeah, there's crouching, there's walking, there's running. Some of the things that I've introduced so far. There's also falling sounds, which that's a hard falling sound. There's a soft falling sound, a hard falling sound, and a medium falling sound. It's the soft one, which you hear when you jump. As you can see there, when I jumped down, there was also a little bit of dust off the gravel. That's one of the small things that I've added. Get a little bit higher, you can get the medium falling sound. I don't know if that was the medium falling sound or not. Alright, that might have been the hard one. Well, I don't need to show off every little tiny thing, but that was the medium one of the metal, I think. Let's do the hard one of the metal. Yeah, alright. Carpet you can actually hear it with, because the carpet one's fairly loud. Yeah, it's simple, but it's cool. It's cool to put all this stuff together and see it work. Wood doesn't have a hard falling sound yet. Need to record that one. Well, I have it recorded. I need to add it. And tile. I can get over to the tile. Yeah. Alright, so another mechanic of the game that I've added. To the bottom right, there is a little blue meter that keeps going up when I'm walking around. That is the noise meter. It indicates the amount of noise that I'm making. That works by basically taking into account any audio sources that are nearby, that are within range of the audio source's, range. And it adds up the volumes in total. So as you can see, when I'm walking around on the different materials, it produces different levels of volume. Carpet is very quiet. And they're actually mapped, meaning if there's a louder point in the sound, like if it's not a consistent volume, it'll actually be louder at that point if that point is playing, which is kind of hard to explain now. I'll be able to explain it a little bit better later on. But they're not just a set value that plays based on whether or not the sound is activated. Probably not explaining that well, but anyway. So I can also explain the other big mechanic that I've added. As you can see at the bottom left, there is a little cube dude shaped HUD. And that is the light metering system. That basically shows a real-time indicator of what parts of your body are currently being lit up. As you can see, as I turn around, the parts change. I can go completely in shadow. Now I'm not visible. I can put my legs in the light and they're visible. It doesn't take into account whether or not there's a shadow casting from yourself, which is something that I'm kind of debating implementing or not. I'm not fully sure because it kind of adds some further complications, makes the system not really work quite as well. But I won't get into that right now. I have this little spinning light over here to demonstrate that it works with spinning lights. You can see as the light hits me, it lights up. And that's kind of the point of the leaning function, feature, mechanic, whatever. So that you can be in a shadow and lean and be able to see around a little bit without actually exposing yourself to the light, or only exposing a little bit of yourself to the light. It's basic stuff that you see in stealth games. It's pretty cool, though. It's pretty cool to me, because I wrote all this stuff from scratch, and it's awesome to see it all working. Alright, so... anything more to explain on that? Yeah, I didn't plan any of this out. This is just me basically discussing what I've done. It's a very deconstructed format, and that's basically all I can do. So... there's point lights and there's spotlights. These are point lights. Those are spotlights. Not that that really matters. But both of those are coded in. Get my head to expose to the light there. There you go. I think it's pretty cool. Oh, it works with this too, the pulsing light. You can see the metering goes a little bit darker as the light pulses with it. It's on a very tiny delay, which I can change, but it works pretty well as it is right now, which is basically an update every 16th of a second, or something like that. I can't remember. So, a mechanic of Milestone 2 that I've added, as I said, I want to focus a lot on very small things, and one of the very small things that I thought would be kind of a cool addition. You see, the game is very futuristic. It's set in a futuristic setting. I don't really want to go into that too much right now because that's still kind of in limbo and we're still discussing a lot of that. But it's in a futuristic setting, so it's going to have a lot of robots. And these guys are my temporary robot models. And these guys are cleaner bots. Janitor bots, whatever you want to call them. And one of the little features that I've added is when you are running on tile and you turn too quickly, you will scuff up the floor. And these guys will seek out the scuffs and they'll clean them up. Let's watch this. And there you go. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool to me. I like it. I've got a lot more plans for this, including footsteps, and when you walk through water, various materials will dry your feet and whatnot. And since the main, I guess, enemy of the game is going to be robots, there's way too much stuff to discuss, but basically they'll be able to track you down based on whether or not, you know, you leave footprints or scuff marks or whatever there is. There's going to be a lot of little things like that introduced into the game, and these are just the very early preliminary things. So anyway, okay, random choppiness. This is not optimized at all, so I'm surprised it's actually running as well as it is. I actually might need to stop this and start the recording again. So, it happens when you're running and you turn quickly, but it also happens if you jump and land when you're moving too quickly, like this. So, you can basically just go around and leave these marks all over the place and just watch these guys go clean it up. I'll do that right now, actually. Let's get an aerial view of this. Epic cleaning action. 2013. Coming to a theater near you. 2013. I should just make a game where you watch people clean. Oh, that would be awesome. Don't steal my idea. That's my next game. Oh yeah, that's my next game. And as you can see, they pretty much cleaned them all up. I think they got almost all of them. There's one right there. One right there. One right there. Okay, you guys are slacking. What's going on here? They almost got them all. It's very basic right now. I'm not going to bother going into too much detail at the moment. I'm just getting the preliminary AI systems done for milestone number 2. And they are one of the 3 that I've added so far. The other system, or one of the other 3, is this guy who's creepily hiding in the shadows. Is creepily a word? Whatever. He's an NPC type. He doesn't do anything right now except for sit there. So, let's ignore him. The other one is this guy, who I already showed early on. And this is a Sentry AI type, which is pretty much going to be one of the main enemies in the game. And I don't really have much coded for him right now to show off, because again, that's from milestone number 2, and this video was intended to show off milestone number 1. But I will show off the very loud fan right here, so I can demonstrate 2 things. One of the things is in the noise metering system. Like I said, if there's a point in the sound when the volume gets louder than the rest of the sound, it's not a consistent volume. As you can hear, there's little scraping sounds as the fan spins. That will get picked up on the actual noise meter, so it meters it basically in real time, as I will demonstrate if I can find my way there. You see the little blue meter is already picking up the noise. It's like a little bit further out, it'll go away. I'm walking on metal too, so it's going to record the metal footsteps. So you see when the scraping sound happens, you can see that the noise meter actually goes up, because it's the audio is mapped to make the noise meter go up based on the volume of the sound. Yeah, and another cool thing is, since there's a light shining on, since there's a light shining on this fan from there, it's a point light, you see the shadows behind it. If I walk behind it, since the light that's hitting me is going to constantly be changing, my light meter HUD basically turns into a disco ball. Which is pretty cool. It's kind of hard to see right now because the light's not very bright. But you can kind of see how my legs and arms, hands are basically all changing as the light hits it. Simple mechanics, but it's the core systems. Let me see. Anything else to talk about right now? I can hide in the shadow so he doesn't see me. That's what I'm working on right now. That's what I was working on before I did this video. So in the next update, I guess, if anyone's interested in these and wants to see these, see more of them. I will be doing more sophisticated AI, which is going to be really cool and creepy. He's going to have an animation, I swear. He's not just going to float around like that. Cleanerbots won't have an animation, so I'm not going to bother with that right now. Also, they might not look like that at all. They might look like Roombas for all I know. Nothing is really planned out at this point. So, that covers about everything that I've added so far. There was a previous build of this where I had a bit more added, but I had to redo it for a couple of reasons. One of them was a major engine update. So a lot of stuff that I've done is behind-the-scenes work that's not really going to be noticed in this. But it's basically the backbone of what everything's being built on. And yeah, I'm having a ton of fun making this. Choppiness is probably because I'm loading some pretty high-resolution shadow maps as I'm moving around. And yeah. Let me know if you want to see more of these, and, you know, it'll make me want to make more of these. No, it won't make me want to make more of them, but I'll make more of them. For you. And only for you. So that's Isolation. Milestone number 1, development log video. If I think of anything else to add, I'll tag it on at the end of this. But yeah. Oh yeah, I'm really bad at ending videos. I forgot about that. What to do? How to end this video? How about a time-lapse video of these guys cleaning up tons of scuff marks? Why not? Let's do it. The target hardware for this, it's pretty much going to be PC. With the upcoming release of the PlayStation 4, I am kind of wanting to get it ported onto that in the future, hopefully. I don't really know what that entails. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but that is something that I would like to do in the future. It's really way too early to say anything about that at this point. Linux and Mac, possibly, if I do develop for those, it's going to be a little bit later on. Right now it's Windows PC. Probably not Xbox, because that's not really a road I want to go down right now. And it's going to require some decent hardware because it does rely on real-time shadows. I am going to work the best I can to reduce the overhead or reduce the system requirements for that and make sure that it runs smoothly on pretty low-end hardware. Well, middle-end hardware or whatever. But it's way too early to really say anything about it at this point. But target, PC, release date, don't know. Hopefully by the end of 2013 is the hopeful goal. I don't really know. Possibly not, because I'm working on this on my own, basically, and I'm doing everything. The modeling, the texture art, the animating, the programming, the scripting, the did I say texturing? The texturing, the level design, basically everything except for the story, which I'm kind of collaborating with, and the world design, which hopefully I'll get in more to in a later video. Right now it's still way too early to say, but hope you enjoyed this video of the first glimpse of this project that I've been working on for so long now. I'm glad that I was finally able to, you know, show something. Hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you want to play it. Maybe you don't want to play this because there's not really much seen here. But yeah. Until next time. So, since there's a lot of stuff to talk about, I knew I was going to forget about some things, and here's a slight addendum of some of the stuff that I forgot to mention. One of the things that I've added is friction to some of the material types, such as gravel and tile. In fact, only gravel and tile right now, which is kind of hard to show off in a video, but if I turn while I'm sliding, it kind of shows off somewhat. Basically, if you approach something fast enough, like gravel, you see you slide, which causes... well, causes you to slide, but it causes a very subtle, if you can kind of hear it, sound of like gravel flying. And later on I'm going to have little bits of gravel that actually spawn and, fly off and hit stuff and make noise. And if you're walking along an edge that is made of gravel, or a material type similar to gravel, little bits of gravel will fall off the edge, they'll trickle down, they'll hit stuff, they'll make noise. And tile also has some degree of friction, not as much as gravel, I think. So you can see where I land is where the mark is made. Sorry for the lag. It's the light maps that are loading. So wherever the mark is made is where I landed, and I slide the rest of the way. Aside from that, I did kind of forget to go into the noise mapping a little bit more detailed. Aside from that, I forgot to go into the noise map explanation a little bit more. And basically, I don't know why this is lagging. Oh, I know what's lagging, so I have my video editor open. Ooh, forgot about that. Anyway, so wherever audio is playing, any type of an audio source in the game is an actual object, and it emits, sound that can be heard by any kind of an entity. This is different from a lot of stealth games where it's basically just the player making the noise. So if you approach something like a fan here, where it's making noise and you can see it showing up on the meter, so while I walk, you don't see my footstep noise quite as easily showing up on the meter, but if I walk away and go to the other metal, you can basically see only my footstep noise, so it's a lot more isolated. So what I'm hoping to do with that is kind of create a system where you can use objects that are making a lot of noise, like this fan here, to actually cover your footsteps when you're walking on a noisy material type, or if you need to do something that's fairly noisy. You can be able to run, and if the noise is loud enough, it'll basically cover your sound. Which kind of ties into another thing that I didn't really explain, but I don't really know if I want to explain it at this point because it's not really implemented properly at all. Basically, there's going to be this environmental overlay goggle type object that's going to let you see a lot of info about objects around you. It's kind of hard to explain. There's so much to talk about with that I probably shouldn't go into that right now. One of the plans is to maybe allow you to see how much noise an object is making to let you know if it'll cover your sound if you're near it. So much stuff to talk about this. There really is. I really just need to sit here and rant about stuff just in a non-structured way to be able to cover everything. But that is everything I can think of at the moment. If I think of anything else, I'll just have to cover it in a future video if I make more videos. People hate these with a great passion, then I probably won't make more. Actually, if people hate these with a great passion, I'll make a lot of more videos. A lot of more videos, yes. My English is awesome. And that's the end of this video, unless I think of something else, which I probably will. But for now, goodbye.